to improve the education system, to improve anything which has to do with housing, because these are the primary needs of the people. This is the starting point of human rights. Let us start with this. When it comes to education, housing, to work, the job market. When you are a woman, you can get 30% less than the salary of a man with the same skills. Can you give me a hadith accepting this? This is un-Islamic. And in fact, it's not right. Same skills, same income, same salary. This is where the Muslims, if only we were in this struggle to say we are against any kind of discrimination towards women on the job market, this would be the right struggle. But very often we are not here. It's as if to be on this is, oh, we are acting against the family. Who said that? You can be for the family and at the same time for the same rights. It's not mutually exclusive. It's something that we have to promote in our communities and in our societies. And it's also, as I said, equality. And I would like today to see, because it's not over. Be careful with the symbols that are hiding the reality. The symbol of the President Barack Obama being the President of the United States of America doesn't mean that anything which has to do with race, discriminations, class, segregation, it's over. No. It's always there, and within our community as well, in the United States of America, everywhere. So even now, in your country, where I haven't heard so many Muslim voices saying something about what happened in Arizona. Why? Who told us that as Muslims you only react when Islam and Muslims are attacked? That's wrong. When there is injustice, we are here. As you said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُ بِالْعَدْلِ وَالْإِحْسَانِ. It's a command. Justice is justice for all. And al-ihsan, excellence, is beyond that. It's even something that we can go towards, compassion and forgiveness. But this is it. And then you also give to the poor people. But this is why we have to be involved in all this discussion about, as I said, many fields. And these fields are everywhere. So it comes from within, the spiritual teaching that we have. And it would be good for us in our mosques, in our schools, in our gathering, to come back to this very essence. وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ, the dignity of human being. Education. Anything, any need to protect it. Education, housing, no segregation, no racism, equality, gender issues in this society that we have to solve. This is coming from within and going outward in our society. And this is where we have to be involved in all this dimension. Let me end with something which is important. When it comes to human rights, and also don't come with very simplistic answers to the complex questions. For example, I heard someone saying, oh, we don't agree with the human rights because the human rights are telling us that, for example, you can change your religion and you can marry whoever you want. Be careful with very simplistic Islamic answer. Because on this issue, for example, حكم الردة, changing religion. The great majority of the scholars, with no doubt, was saying حكم الردة is to be killed. You cannot change your religion. But this is not the only Islamic answer. That Sufyan al-Thawri, 8th century, had another opinion. And I said it 20 years ago. I was criticized by so many scholars and saying, what are you talking about? I said, I'm sorry. I came with a very long tradition of scholars. There is not only one. It's mawda' ikhtilaf. There are many opinions. The great majority, they think that it's impossible. But you have scholars from the 8th century, since the 8th century up to now, saying no. This was a very specific hukm in times of war, that you had people changing their religion to gather information and to come back to the other community and to betray the Muslims. So this was a very specific time. And when I wrote the book on the Prophet ﷺ, just we had 3 situations where they changed their religion and the Prophet didn't kill anyone. It never happened that he killed someone because he or she changed his or her religion. Never. It was in a very specific situation. You can't just take this and say, it's not because the majority had one opinion that this is the only majority. It could be in Islam, in the legal, that one had the right one and the majority the wrong one. And when you respect a scholar, we respect the scholar. So then, what happened, for example, Sheikh Ali Goma from Egypt, he wrote an article in your Newsweek and Washington Post, on faith. He was of the opinion, in fact, he was just saying exactly this, that there are many opinions and that it's not the only situation and that we cannot kill someone because he or she changes his or her religion. The Majma' al-Ulama afterward sent a letter saying, no, he didn't mean that. And he sent another letter and said, yes, I meant that. This is a very important point, is that on such issues, you cannot just repeat what is heard. If you don't know, say, La adri, I don't know. But don't come with the majority saying it's the only one. You are wrong if you define one position as the only exclusive Islamic one. Sometimes you better say, I don't know. This is a very important discussion here. We are not talking about, it's not a joke. We are talking about killing someone. We are talking about life and death. It's a very serious matter. Just also for us to understand. Of course, it's something which is considered as very big to change one's religion. But to come and say, if you change, you are going to be killed, and this is the Islamic judgment, be careful not to come with this. And this is a serious matter. So what I'm saying is that there are levels in our discussion. So there are common things that we can say, it's very clear. Education, human rights, dignity, justice, no racism, all that. On some specific issues we have to come back and to think about what were the positions of the ulama. Our tradition is big. It's very wide, many positions. Even in, some were saying, for example, for women leading the prayer, 99% of the Muslims responding to this question never knew what was in the tradition. What was the scholars saying about this? What they were saying about that? So when you don't know, please don't answer before knowing. Because it's not helping the Muslims. Go study, and then you will see that after studying you would say, oh, it's complex. It's very complicated because we have many positions. And then we, in our time, we have to take a position. We have to take something which is a position for our time. And in human rights, this is something which is important. When I launched this moratorium, not only on the corporal punishment, by the death penalty, and stoning, and the corporal punishment, I didn't come with something which is, it's coming from my mind. Some people are saying, it's a European, a Swiss Muslim coming with some new idea. I said, look, it's coming from within the tradition. I'm not denying the fact that we have texts. And the texts are clear-cut. But we all know that when we have to implement texts, we need conditions. And the conditions, understanding the text first, the conditions, and the social context. So I was just saying, I have 3 questions for the scholar. What do the texts say? What are the conditions needed? And in which social political context? Before we answer this question, we have to stop what is happening now, because what is happening now is plain injustice. The only people that we are killing, the only people that we are stoning are poor people or women. And this is done in the name of Islam. I'm sorry, this is not justice. So I prefer to stop and to be wrong without killing than to kill and to be wrong by killing. This is not Islam. A shubha, you have to stop it. If there is one doubt, you don't kill. One doubt, you don't kill. And you have people, lots of money, petro-monarchies, they steal the money, they corrupt people, nothing happened to them. A poor woman in Nigeria, by someone who didn't